So
Oh,
we're here. It's been a long hiatus.
it has. It has. It
Yeah.
has.
Hmm.
All right. Wow. It does seem a long time ago.
I can't even remember. It feels like a long time anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. Long time.
Yeah.
Um,
And here we are in July.
yeah, golly.
And
And
nearly, halfway through.
I was just going to say, and already halfway through, and oh my goodness, like actual.
Hmm.
Anyway, here we are, and welcome everyone to another Love Speaks of us prattling on about different things that we feel
Whatever
compelled to talk about.
whatever pops into our head mostly.
Yeah, whatever
Mm.
pops on.
Yeah.
Um, I was wondering whether to hotspot because it's doing a little jiggle, but we should be right, I think. So today we are going to have a little talk around, what is love calling you to now? Because,
Mm.
oh my gosh, like, I mean, to say that things are changing is just so, like, almost so slight that it hasn't got the enormity of how much is actually changing in that, it's like we've had so much shifting within us and how much is like the biggest thing that I notice is how much more flow there is, how much flow,
Mhm.
not that there is more flow, but it's how much easeful it is, much more easy. It just flows with a beautiful flow of love, and the synchronicities are just falling into place as you know, and a lot of that is because too that we're living out of that fear state and survival state. That's what I'm noticing with me, is that I'm not in that old state of that anymore. And so, therefore, all of these times where I used to go into a bit of pang of fear around doing something or considering something, there isn't any of that anymore. And it leaves it really open and in a more truer state of self to figure out whether that is what you actually want to do or not, rather than shy off because, oh my God, I've just got scared.
Yeah.
It's an easier way to read and be in the reading intuitively of your own inner. And I just love it. I love it. I've always had that, but it was always clouded by doubt or fears or, indecision because of those doubts and fears. And it used to
Mm.
frustrate me a lot.
Yeah. So I've really noticed since I came back from New Zealand, one of the things I went, I need a life
Yeah.
because I've been sort of in hibernation pretty much for the last few years. And since I've got back, it's like it's boom, boom, boom. Nothing has stayed stagnant. Um,
No.
no, and it's really fast what you ask for or what your soul's wanting to come into being.
Yes.
Mm.
Bev, is that your Wi-Fi being a little unstable, or is it actually mine?
I think it might be yours. Mine looks stable.
Okay, just bear with us, folks, and welcome Zarika, Carolyn, and Olwen. Lovely to have you with us. I'm just going to hotspot from my phone. So if we jump off here for a minute, which we shouldn't do, it'll just stay on there. But just give me a sec while I get that sorted so that we're not cutting out, because that is annoying to me.
Very
As you will,
annoying. Go
as
away.
you will know, anyone that knows me, I can't handle that sort of thing. I just need to get it all sussed. And here we go.
Oh,
We'll just switch over. All good to go. Beautiful. So just say all that again, Bev. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I was just saying how it, I put out that I wanted to have a life because I've been very insular or in hibernation. And since I've come back, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks, maybe nearly
Yep.
three. My life is just going boom, boom, boom until I'm like, oh, I have to get off here at exactly on time so that I can rush off to the next thing, and then there's the next thing, and it's like, okay. So it's lovely having a life, but I don't want it to get too big, too busy.
No.
I still need that space
Yeah,
for
no.
myself.
Absolutely. I lived in that chaotic, busy, backed up
Mm-mm.
with bookings 3 weeks ahead and just development classes and healing classes and all the things for years. I ran like that and I do not want to go back to that at all. And when I was in that state, it all flowed very well and all the things. It wasn't that it didn't, but it was just that I didn't want to be that busy, booked ahead 3 weeks. And if somebody wanted to get in, I wanted them to be able to book in now. And I wanted that whole thing to shift over because it was driving me more than I was just in it relaxed and it just
Mhm.
flowing. It was driving.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how to switch that over, but it just automatically did when I put the will out for it to. It just switched over. And now I'm booked up all the time. Whenever I feel like I want to, it just automatically starts booking. And then when I want time out, it just shuts down again. And I just generate it like that. And everything is a flow and
Yeah.
everything is busy, but everyone gets in now and it's not an issue. And I love that. I absolutely love it. And
Yeah.
it's not a busy, frantic busy, even though it's busy
Oh,
as if it could be, but I'm not like that anymore. It's
no.
not like I'm frantic in it anymore.
No, I'm
So
not.
it's,
I'm not frantic in this, by the way. Just it's just
yeah,
this is what I asked for, and this is and it's coming straight
yeah,
away.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's great,
yeah,
eh?
it is. It's really good.
Yeah.
Um, mm,
And
it's
and
much.
just so lovely to live without the fear base and the doubt and
Oh,
considering yourself all the time whether you're doing the right thing or not. Everything is in flow and it's so peaceful and calm. And it just yeah, it's more joyful, way more joyful.
yeah,
Yeah, that's good. I'm
it is.
loving it. And I see you know, I see your post the other day about love breaking through more and how important love is, and that there is what's coming up for a lot of people. It's like heart is opening now. We're now not because we're not in survival and you know that fear base again we talk about. It's that we're now in thriving. We're opening ourselves more, and we're not so rigid
Oh,
and
that
barricaded
closed
up
off,
and
and
shut
yeah,
down
yeah.
and all of that, everything is more open and receiving more with that because if you notice too, my post around Archangel Michael flying in that night and, saying, how about we do something about defensiveness and
Yeah.
seeing how a lot of people are living in defense, are very
Oh,
defensive about everything. We're very guarded. We've always been very guarded because we've needed to protect ourselves from
oh,
predators.
that's
I mean, look what's going on in the world. But when you come out of that fear base and you live more in that love space, that world doesn't exist to you. And it's so much better.
so much easier. Yeah. Yes, and that's definitely one of the things that dropped for me while I was in, no, actually, since I've come home, is so the fear of love, of accepting it in, was big. So
Yeah.
when you can't accept it in, it's because it wasn't safe out there in the world, not in my world, but I feel safer in myself now.
Mm,
So it's like it's about feeling safe for me. It's about feeling safe in me, and
mm,
things just keep on flowing and moving.
mm. Yeah.
Mm.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
and witnessing more and more people coming into that place as well. I
Mm.
do see still a lot struggling with what's going on in the world globally.
Well, yeah.
And I get that it's a thing, but it's also, I've always said it, and I'll say it again, where you focus your energy and intention, it grows. So,
Yeah.
you know,
We in my village here, so we gather in the gazebo on the Sunday afternoon, and on Sunday they suddenly switched from whatever they were talking about to, "Oh, did you see this? This girl got murdered, and that one did this," and I and I went, okay, so so in my world, I stopped watching the news because it's creating fear for me.
mm,
And I just look out the window and go, well, my world looks quite beautiful right this minute. And I also, because we're all over 55 community, in fact, we're probably more of an over 80 community. Um, and I just went, that fear that you're taking in is creating all the illnesses that's happening around us. And it
exactly.
was like, yeah, they,
Yeah,
yeah, it was very quiet in there after that while they digested some of it. But
yeah,
yeah, it's like sometimes those new concepts, not everybody's had the same as you and I have. I feel privileged for what my life has brought for me,
mm,
and the awarenesses, and not everybody's had that. So it's
mm,
like I feel way more confident these days to speak into those spaces where I never did before. I used to
mm,
keep my weirdness to myself.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm just not keeping my weirdness in. We're just, you know, I want more weird people in my world.
Well, the thing is, we used to say, well, we can still say what's normal because we consider that that's not normal, but it actually is a normal state. It's that we've been
Absolutely.
programmed into
Yeah,
coming into that other state that we've moved
I know.
ourselves out of. So
Yeah,
we're coming back to the natural state of being. And
exactly.
when you think about, when I do anyway, when I think about love, and I remember speaking into this even with somebody at the retreat, around how the statement came up again about we just need more love in the world. Well, yes, we do, but it's not that we need more love. We are love, that is us. But what we didn't do was we didn't let it out of us. We've been holding it in and barricading, and so therefore we've held it in, and that's what I believe disease is. The disease of not being able to allow love out, because we are love, that is what we are. And so,
Well, that's
therefore,
what
with
we're
us
paying
holding
for.
it
Mm.
in and barricading it up and not allowing it to flow, because we were
Mm.
afraid of rejection and abandonments and all sorts of things, and even that being weird and outcast,
Yeah, I know.
you know, all of that stuff. So we've closed up, and that is what I believe disease is. It's what creates disease, and it's and what love is that more people are coming back to love now. They're realizing that is where we need to go, and that is what is showing up for them is more of that state. And I love that.
Yeah, well, they're coming back more to their own nature, that
Mm,
their natural way of being, which is
yeah,
what we were when we were children. It
yeah,
just got chopped off, um, especially like through the school system, through I don't know all of the things that happen in childhood.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, the school system definitely takes us out of l- our right brain and into our left brain, so that we start doing, we, oh, is it my internet going off or not?
I don't know.
Just, okay,
Mine's all
mine
good.
just did. All right.
Yeah, and it is. And we can say, again, we can talk about all the programming and the control and all the things, but actually, when you're aware of it and you know that it's been going on, and I know as a child, I didn't know what I knew then, but I knew there was something that didn't work for me. But I couldn't
Yeah.
quite figure out what that actually was. But as I got more aware of what I am, who I am, it became more aware to me that it was the actual system, and that's what, I never wanted to play into it. Um, but it's that thing where once you know, then you can't keep saying that we are controlled, because if we are handing it
No.
over all the
But
time like that, we got to come, it's coming back to us taking back our own sovereign control.
well, that's true. Except when you're a 7-year-old and stuck in school, or five
Oh,
now that
yeah,
they
no.
stick you in school, it's that's a whole different thing.
Yeah, no, in that
Yeah, yeah.
age group, no, you can't. But when you're
No.
older and you realize what
Oh,
is going on,
absolutely. But it takes
because
a while to actually recognise that. And you and I have been
yeah,
in a fortunate position that we have that's been part of our life.
mm,
Not everybody's had the same privileges that we've had, because I
no,
feel it's a privilege that what we have come in to do.
yeah, I don't see it as a privilege, but I think
Yeah.
that because for me, what I do see is I see a lot of spiritually, we call them spiritually conscious aware, say, consciously aware people that are still buying into all of the control and the victimhood. And that part there for me is where I'm speaking into, is that when you see it, why would
Um,
you still allow that control? Why would you still allow the victim state to be played out when you see it and
mm.
understand it and get it? Then why play there?
It's the getting it.
Yeah.
Sometimes, so for me, sometimes I might see it or hear it or know it in here, but unless I get it in my body, it doesn't change much. It's actually,
No.
for me, it's getting it all the way through the cells of my body that then changes that state. It's
Mm.
like, there's a series I watch on TV, and so I watch it mainly to see what is being programmed into our young people these days. What is, like, for me, that's the programming that's happening through our television screens or YouTube or whatever you watch these days, and it will depend on that and what goes in. It's only when we come into the awareness that actually there's a program happening, and that's creating what's out there in the world.
Yeah. It is. And as Zarika says, it's all about doing a lot of inner deep work, and it is that. And a lot
Yeah,
of people don't understand that
absolutely.
that's what it's
No,
about.
no.
Exactly. But by us speaking up, by us mentioning, and like you were bringing a different perspective to that conversation the other day, then that starts people thinking. And for
Mm.
whatever reason, I was that person throughout my family and life, has been that person that just drops something in and sort of walks
Oh,
away, really, in respect to, we'll just leave you with that and you have a ponder on that one. But and some take it, some don't, but you can't force people either. It's just a matter of
it's a
living it,
matter
being it,
a matter
walking
of
it.
owning your own truth, really. That's what I find for
Mm,
me.
mm,
Whereas, before I would be very um, inner, very controlled about what I said. I did have this classic example when I first started running workshops in New Zealand, and this guy, he had leaking sexual energy, and I called him on it. Well, he had no clue what I was on about, and he took great affront with it. And it must be nearly, I don't know, 15 years later, he finally could admit that that was the truth. But at the
mm.
time, so with the reaction I got from that, I then started to be a little quiet about what I knew and what I saw, because the reaction was quite enormous.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm, yeah.
yeah. it does make you step back a bit and
Yeah, yeah.
shut up
Shut
for
up.
a while. It's like,
Oh,
I can't help.
my zip is disintegrated.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's totally that. I find it hard not to speak into stuff when I'm even like at the retreat and other people are facilitating. I'm so used to facilitating that it's hard for me to sit there and not not join in. It's like, shh, now,
Shh.
just be quiet. Yeah,
Yeah, and
it's
it's
like
because
that.
you're in teach you're still in teacher mode,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, it's like it is tough not to stay in that role and to
Mm,
actually come right back in when we're into our own whatever's going on.
yeah,
Mm,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
It was.
Yes.
We did. I
But
did
yeah.
notice.
Yeah, you would have. You would
Teachers
have.
always strong with you.
Mm.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah, it is. And
yeah.
I don't, I'm not a pushy teacher and I don't lecture, but
No.
I do, when there's an opportunity that opens up in discussion where I see people are wounding in it and are wounded in the conversation, it's like not to be able to put something in there that might just like that shift the perspective for them to be able to come out of that pain, the heavier
The
pain,
pain. Yeah.
and yeah, but yeah, gosh. But it's an interesting, such an interesting time. Hi, Heidi.
Yeah.
No.
Nice to see you, Heidi.
And Itaroma, I'm not sure how I say your name. And Sonia, beautiful, welcome. So yeah, it's definitely a really interesting time. And for me always, I've always been into, I love we call it magic, but for me it's the physics and how physics works in this and energetically. I've always loved it. It's my buzz. And to turn someone's light on with that type of concept and to get them to actually recognize that within themselves. And then you see the spark just fire up in them. That's then going to walk them out into their life and they go start consciously creating their world. That for
Yeah.
me is the most awesomest thing. And that is the part that we're up to now. And this is
Yes.
where I'm just
Yeah.
running. I'm wanting to run into all these seminars and different spaces to be able to ignite more of that within peeps because there's so much suffering, and the suffering comes from that feeling of hopelessness, less than, you've never been good enough. You've always got to strive to compete and be out there and own this home and own that and own this and, take control of your life and your fam and everyone and try and drive that in a way that you think it's the way it should go when actually it could be a totally different direction it's meant to go in. And when we just come into that surrendering and the will of knowing that if I consciously put my attention into this good thing over here, that could really create something massive and wonderful for everyone, myself and everyone, it's like, then why wouldn't I do that? Why would I hang on to this story here that takes me into victimhood, less than worthy, not being
Yeah.
worthy, all the things that we are so used to being in. And for me, there's no way I can go back to that now. There's absolutely no
Oh,
way.
no.
It's just not
No.
where I choose to be at all anymore. And when you start playing in that field, the quantum oneness and it's, if we want to call the collective God soul, whatever it might be that we call it, it's like when you start playing in that playground, you see the magic happen, you see the synchronicities, you see the things turning up that you've just spoken a word about over here 5 minutes before, and then next minute it appears. It's such a cool thing. It is absolutely such the coolest thing. And there's no way that you can say that there isn't a higher power, that we are not of a higher
Oh,
power.
and we have it within us. Yeah.
Yes, we are it.
So yeah, we
Yeah.
are it. And
Yeah.
that's what I find about this ascension stuff is like it's us. It's what's our internal. It's not what we can gather from up here somewhere. It's what we can find within us with our
Mm,
hearts open.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I think that heart opening is one of the biggest, that's one of the biggest things for us in this life
Mm,
is, and if our heart's open, things just drop on in.
yeah, they do.
They do.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
yeah. Open
You
to
know, like
receive and to give.
there's so many things that have shown itself to me over my time of,
Oh,
of searching and playing, really. I play in the field and see what I can do with it and all the things. And it is so much fun. And teaching others how to is also so much fun for me.
yeah.
But in playing in that field, when I shifted back from the beach, I know you know this story, Bev, but it's like I put out, paying $600 a week rent there and then coming back in and I said, and now in the sleep out at my daughter's and it's really cool and I love it. It's hardly anything to do and I don't have to clean big houses and mow lawns and do all the things that I've done all my life. But having time out from that has been beautiful. But then I said, and I just put out the old, look, give me a house that I don't have to pay rent on. And then about a month later, to 2 months maybe, a house turned up that I didn't have to pay rent. I didn't actually, he said I've just paid power and gas and water. And in the end, I didn't turn up, I didn't have to pay any of that either. So I was utilizing this property and not having to pay anything towards it. I mowed lawns and stuff. And that's where I was able to host Bev when she came out to New Zealand and things. And the beauty of it is that a friend of mine also had come up to stay, but her in a bit of a twist with relationship, just not resonating in there anymore and needed a place to stay. And at that moment that she went to knock on the door, arrived at my whare, I got a text from the person that owns the property saying that they wanted somebody in actually permanently because I was just using it to when I had guests come and stay. And it ends up that she's now in that property, and it was me getting it really ready for her. And it's like, this is just so cool. And she's got the same sort of deal. No rent, because he doesn't want to make money off it. He just wants somebody to live in it. So it's just a so cool thing. And people would say, but that never happens. How did that even happen? Because
Oh,
you put it out there. And because when
yeah.
I do anything like that, I just say it, put it out there and leave it. And I know it's going to come back to me in a massive way that's even more than I could construct.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
always been
It's
far
letting
more.
it's letting go of the control of how a situation's supposed to unfold.
Yeah, it's
And
so fun.
that is actually a really difficult thing for most people to do. To be
It
able
is.
to let go of control. Because sometimes, well, I don't actually put out for much these days. I just put out for more of a life, and that arrives turns up in ways that I wouldn't have expected.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
funny.
but being able to put something out and then let go of the control of how it's supposed to look can be quite a challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
and
got to.
and sorry.
I was, no, you go. And
Yeah, you've just got to stay open to the possibilities that it can it come from left field. You
yeah,
know, expect
yeah,
it over here, but it actually turns up over here.
yeah. And it's
Yeah.
just staying, like I used to think, and sometimes, well, actually, I can't even say that because everything that's turned up. So my daughter said, I need this and this, right? She's a print artist, setting up a
Mm.
studio at her own house. And she said, oh gosh, I need a washer and something else, a drying rack. And next minute, the following, like about 5 hours later, a friend of hers messages and said, look, I've got these for sale. Do you want them? She said, yes, please. They were exactly what she just asked for. When we
Yeah.
picked them up, they were massive, like they're industrial, not commercial. And they were massive. And I thought, oh my God, this is a big boo-boo. But actually, it isn't. It's exactly what she needs. Um, and it's just that right now they won't go in the house at the moment, but they will have a place to be. And in that moment, I was thinking, yeah, we need to define it a wee bit, but actually, we don't. that was absolutely perfect.
Yeah,
And like that whare I put out for no rent, that was perfect too. So it's just stay out of the way and yeah, just allow this, divine energy to serve us because we get in the way. We
we do.
absolutely get in
We
the way.
do. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Mm,
it's so cool. So there's a
I,
lot that's showing up for people, I think, in respect to. I know Mercury's retrograde at the moment, and there's been a little sort of hold-ups and things, which has been okay. Um, but it's like there's quite a flow. Hi, Helen. Lovely to see you here, darling. And there's been quite a flow in respect to things, and I've just noticed, like just recently, it was almost like a little, not sticky point, but almost. It was like, okay, we'll just settle in. And then I heard that Mercury was retrograde, and I thought, oh, that's what it is. Um, and so Mercury retrograde gives you the time to go back over and to look at where you may have stepped over something instead of walking through it and moving it in respect to the inner world I'm talking about. So there might be
mm,
something as you move back over, you come back again and see that, hang on a minute, I need to sort that bit there. I didn't do that when I was in that state.
mm.
And so it gives you an opportunity to just slow down a bit because everything goes a bit haywire. As you all know, who's watching this, I know that you all know about Mercury retrograde. Emails can go to the wrong place. They don't even go in the right, like sent when you send them, and all sorts of things happen. Communication gets mucked up.
It seems to.
And the
Yes.
only thing with that in that state is that when you're saying something to somebody, they can take it the wrong way too. So it can be all that type of thing where there's a bit of
Yeah.
explosions. But other than that, it gives you time to slow down a wee bit and consider where you're up to. And I think in the time that I know for myself right now, it has been that. It's been like, gosh, there was so many things, like just starting up a little event company that's now I'm setting up events everywhere. So keep an eye out, people. We're coming to
Yes.
your town. And bringing presenters in and speakers and visionaries and all these beautiful people to share on a platform. And it's only like two or three on a day, three at the most on a day. But it's going to be an experiential space as well, where you experience not just being lectured to at all.
Yep.
So yeah, so that, and it was like, well, we've got it all sorted, and now the slowing down has just given me time to set up pages and get all you know, the major groundwork done, which has been really cool. So yeah,
Yeah,
but there's a
because you
lot going
love
on.
you love creating.
I do.
Um, yeah, so I've been listening to the telepathy tapes, and I'm up to
Yes.
the part around the creation and how things can just drop in, and like all across the world, when creation finds a person that will run with that creation, then it will go exactly. Whereas something might drop into me and I'll go, oh no, that's not for me. Well, well, and it'll find Mandy to bring that creation through.
Yeah.
So the creations are never lost, is my point. It's like
Yes.
it depends if you are willing to take the challenge or to step into that creation. Otherwise, creation finds another place to create.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
and this
Absolutely.
whole this whole thing is around creation. We are the
Yeah.
creators of our world. Um,
Mm.
just that our resistance can sometimes be a little bigger.
Yeah, I know. I know. And there's times, where, hey, Freya, too, welcome. Um, there's times like when Archangel Michael flew in around defense and defensiveness and wanted the workshop happening. I wasn't in that space at that time. It was like, hang on, we'll have to park that up for a minute.
That's right. Yes.
Because I just wasn't in that space right then. But it comes around, and I knew that
Yeah.
didn't have to be right now.
That's right. Well,
Mm,
but sometimes that will move on.
yeah,
Depends. it'll
Yeah.
move on and somebody else will pick it up. I know I've had ideas that I've not run with, and suddenly someone else is doing it, and I'm like, oh,
Mm.
that was my idea.
Yeah, that's
But I
right.
didn't do anything with it.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
So, just one of the things that I listened to this morning was, um, so she was a writer, and she said that she had a timer to when she stopped. Even if she was halfway through a sentence, she would stop once the timer went off, because she would lose her, if she could come back to it and there she's still in that flow. But if she'd finished a paragraph, she would be cutting off her flow.
So, say that again. So she had a timer.
Yeah. So she could give herself 8 hours to say to write, or an hour, I don't know, can't remember exactly. But
Right.
she would let the timer go off, and the moment the timer went off, she would stop writing. That was her practice. Because if she kept on writing till the end of the sentence, she wouldn't be able to pick up the flow again. She wouldn't get into that same rhythm, because she's always halfway there. So she just finished the sentence and her
I
flow
see.
would keep going. Mm,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
I could
found
see
that
how
quite.
that could work. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely could see how that would work. Because that
Mm.
happened to me the other day. I was writing something and I got called away. And when I came back the next day, it was the next day I came back to it. And it just went, just flowed through.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
mm, yeah.
It was I don't know why this has just popped in, but it was interesting the other day. It was just random.
Oh,
Um
we were randoms are good.
I know, and I can't remember what I was listening to, but it was some, and they asked the question, what would you want to leave when you pass? What is it you'd
Oh,
like to leave? What's the legacy? And people were
oh,
talking about different, like material type things, really, I suppose, empires. And one
no.
woman said, my children with no chaos.
Oh,
I know. And
oh,
I thought, oh my
oh, yes.
goodness, that would be
That
absolutely.
definitely.
Because,
Mm.
I have so many clients that come in and their parents have passed or the last one's just passed on, and there's just so much chaos that's going on that they have to clean up and
Oh,
work through and
yeah.
all the things, and it's just heartbreaking.
It
And
sure
and
is.
it's so tiring. Like they all just get so tired of it. But anyway, yeah, that was something, and I thought, gosh, when we look at that, like many people have asked me over my life, what is it you are wanting in your life? And all I ever said was peace, inner peace.
Yeah, yeah,
It wasn't about material stuff. It was about inner peace for me, and it's always been my thing. And yeah, and that sort of really resonated with me because it wasn't about something material. It was about the inner world and what that person could impart on them to bring less chaos into their life before they
yeah.
passed on. I thought that was
I think
beautiful.
that's a really beautiful sentiment to have,
Mm,
because you're right, there's so much chaos happens when parents pass, um, and everybody's fighting over something,
yeah,
and the amount of families that destroy themselves through that,
yeah,
is just, it's huge.
it is massive.
Mm, mm.
And I just, just talking about that too, a lady that I went to, a client, and um, I went to her because she was an older woman and in older community thing space. And I don't know what you call them. Elderly communities, are they? Elder communities.
Ah,
Um, and
retirement villages?
well, it's yeah, village, yeah, not a home.
Yeah.
And so she had a massive story of her journey over life spiritually, like she was guided to Machu Picchu and different spaces and different beautiful sacred sites and things, and the massive amount of information she received from those places. And she had this big crystal, well, it sort of looked owlish. It was a being, but
Okay.
it had a sort of an owl look to it for me, but it wasn't an owl. And the energy from that was trying to download, like I was getting all this stuff, but it wasn't, I couldn't put it into word for her. But anyway, she wants to be able to share that. And I said, well, come on to one of my podcasts. We'll do that. Let's do it. And she's like, oh, well, yes, but I can't. I said, why? She said, because the person that pays me, um, so she has an like oh, it's sort of like an inheritance trust. It's a trust payment that comes in every
Right.
month. And
Yeah.
because of that, if he didn't like what she was putting out there, then he would cut that off. And he's only a lawyer. He's a solicitor fella who's taken care of it all for years. And I
Well,
said to
it's
her,
not his.
what? Like
It's
actual?
not
She
his
goes,
role.
no. And I was like, hey, and she goes, yeah, but he's really for that family. Like this is her ex-husband's family, the kids and blah, blah. And I was like, oh my gosh. And because of her age, I get it. But how much we focus on money and the survival thing and how much that stops us. I felt I wanted to say to her, don't worry about the money. It'll be all right. It'll come somewhere else. But she doesn't have that faith
No,
and that
exactly.
trust
No.
in her magic and
Yeah.
herself and all of
Yeah.
that. So it was quite sad, but she so wants to get her story out there.
Oh, so why don't you record it and not put it out until after she's gone?
Maybe. Yeah. Could do that.
Yeah.
Maybe. That's a thing we could do. She probably wouldn't trust me to do that though. She's that sort of person.
Yeah.
Very
Well, up to you.
afraid.
But that
But I
is,
could put it to her and see.
yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, and maybe even have to sign something to say this will not be put out until you've
Yeah.
passed.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. She's had some very interesting stuff come up for her and
Yeah.
showed me lots of stuff. We went over lots, but yeah, it was good.
Hmm.
But it's
Hmm.
interesting how
Yeah.
we have, her
Ah.
stopping her life flow really.
Yes. Yeah. So like I was saying before about putting out that I have a life. So
Mm.
my friend of well, we were friends 50 odd years ago, and she just turned up back in my life. But we've got work to do together. And she told me the other day, so I would have only been 19, I think. I gave her the book, the little book called The Prophet. I
Oh
had
yeah.
no clue that that's what sent her on her journey.
Wow. Cool.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
she's now doing a huge history um, on Western Australia, and because she's one of the Aboriginal elders now, so
Mm.
she's doing a huge history on what really happened here
Right.
when Australia was invaded,
By
and
all the
what they did to the Aboriginals and to their sacred sites, and
yeah, right.
what their sacred sites meant, and reconnecting to those. Yeah, so
Beautiful.
she's staying with me for a few days, and
Yeah.
yeah, so it's very interesting what turns up in your
Yeah,
life.
it
Yeah,
is.
yeah,
Yeah, that's cool.
it
Very
is.
cool. And you don't know, what sort of influence you've had on people over time, even not even in our sort of mahi, but in life in general. And, you know,
Mm,
I just remember with my cousin who was homeless and got killed up on the at the
yeah,
cafe
that's right.
up
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
Um, and the beautiful things that were said about him at as his tangi, and how much he'd help people with the words he'd said. And I
yeah.
remember him
Oh,
saying to
yeah.
me, I found my purpose, Mandy. I said, have you? What's that? And he said, the Wizard of Love. And I sort of laughed. I
Oh
thought,
my
oh,
God.
bless you. But he
Oh,
actually, the
yeah.
people all spoke about how much love he had in his heart for them and the words he'd spoken, the wisdom and how it had changed their lives. And I was just gobsmacked, bawling my eyes out. But yeah, it was really
Yeah,
beautiful. So you don't
yeah.
know. You don't know
No,
how
you
much.
don't know.
No.
And I'm gonna have to go because
Yes.
yes, I have a life.
That's so good to know, Bev. That's beautiful.
All right.
Well,
Well,
thank you so much, everyone, for chiming in. It's been really lovely connecting again. And
yes.
yeah, we'll be back in a fortnight with Love Speaks. And I'm going to do some lives through the next week or two. So look out for those. All right,
All
much
right.
love and have a
Okay.
happy day, Bev.
I will.
All
See you
righty.
all.
Bye bye.
Bye.